The tools needed to put together runways for monkeys. First thing you need are hog rings. These are two almost the same size. This is an aluminum, this is steel. These you can get at Lowe's and Home Depot. This is by Master Halco. You can purchase them through any fencing supply company. This is also located, the ones for Lowe's and Home Depot are located in the fencing department. The ones at Home Depot or Lowe's, they look like this. The other thing you need is a set of hog ring pliers. This one has a spring loaded on it, so it will hold the hog ring in place while you get ready to squeeze it. It also comes with a thumb screw. It is not needed. That's to set the width of this. What you want to be able to do is close this as completely as possible. So that's a closed hog ring. You can also purchase these at Lowe's or Home Depot. The aluminum hog rings don't fit very well in their brand, but the steel ones fit great. If you want to get some like these, you could purchase these at a local feed store or an off-brand home do-it-yourself type place like Ace Hardware. You need a pair of channel locks. They look like T-Rex. These, I actually have two pair here. If you'll notice, if you can, see how one head is actually wider than the other, which is this pair? These are the exact same size, but if you can find a pair with this nice wide head, it makes it, taking off hog rings or bending wire or whatever you need to do, it makes it much easier. You need a pair of slip joint pliers. Normally they look like this, but when you're going to be tightening hog rings, they will need to be in the open position. This is why you need slip joints. You can do it with channel locks or T-Rex, but it is a little more difficult. So these are a must. And lastly, you need a pair of bolt cutters. These are 24-inch. I got these at Home Depot also. There's a different type. This is by Workforce. There's a different type. I believe it's red or pink. I've used those. They're not as sturdy as these are. So if you're able to get these particular ones, they're usually in yellow. That would be great. Oh, and of course, lastly, the horse panel. This is what we will be cutting. They come in sheets 5 feet wide, 16 feet long. Each square is a 2x4 square. You will be able to get 20 feet of runway off of a 16-foot sheet of horse panel. So let me show you how to cut it. For demonstration purposes, I am working on a smaller piece of horse panel instead of the regular 5 feet by 16 feet long. When you're ready to make your first cut, it'll be 5 feet this way, 16 this way. You're going to count down 5 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the 6th one, this is where you're going to cut. Once you've cut it out, you'll notice that you've still got to remove these pins. That's what I call them, are pins. And when you finish, you will have, as I said, 5 feet long, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 rows. It's perfect size. Now you'll go to your next one and do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th row gets wasted. Get cut. After that, do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on until you've completed the sheet. Once you've completed, I'll show you how to put them together. Your initial 5-foot section of runway, this is what it will look like once it's completed. You'll notice it is freestanding. This is what the monkeys actually go down and run around in. It's open. See? This is what a close-up is of a tightened hog ring. I will teach you how to do that here momentarily. If you notice, when they're tightened, they don't move. And another thing, I'll be talking about runners. And runners are the piece of wire that runs the longest direction. Because when you put together a runway, you're going to want to have the runners face in. Notice it's on top, runners facing in, runners in, runners in. Now, the thing about the first 5 feet of runway that you do, your end all match. We're going to put together one, and I'm going to show you how to do the next step. This right here, when they come flush like that, that's for when you need to put it up against a habitat or an indoor enclosure, chain link, more of this. Either one can be attached to the horse panel. But you need to have it flat so it can go up against the habitat. Let me show you. Here's a 5-foot section. See how this is the habitat itself, and then I've got it joined up against there. You can see where I've taken the ends of these and folded over. This was what I cut with my bolt cutters from the side of the habitat. I just cut it, ran my runway up against it, and bent these prongs down. Did the same thing to the side. Yes, I also did hog ring it, but I have found that over time you don't have to do that. The top, as you can see, is also the same way. It's just bent upwards. And then the runway goes down. We'll talk about forks later. On runways, every 10 feet, you need to put in a post. This is a 6-foot post, or it's an 8-foot post. 2 feet are in the ground, 6 feet above. 6 feet is an ideal height to be able to still reach to put in your forks, but to be able to duck under. So, you can see this coming up. I've attached on, again, here's another example of, this is nice and straight, square end of a 5-foot section that I butted to another piece of runway. So it's always flat. But anyway, here is 5 feet to here, and then we go another 5 feet to here, hence my post. 5 feet airspace, another 5 feet a post.